Hey there, and welcome to Bianca MMM. Here we dive into the mind, meditations, and motivation. Trial season is here, and we're shining a light on the behavior and psychology of the defendants, witnesses, attorneys, and even judges.
I'll allow it as the investigation.
What are they thinking, feeling, and what is their body language telling us? If you're new, we're so glad you found us, and if you are already a member, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. It helps more than you know. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get started. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you can hear me and see me well. I am working from a new computer and I'm excited to share today's live with you. We're going to go over the Brian Walshe trial. This is Bianca MMM for Mind, Meditation, and Motivation. And what do we do here? Well, we talk about meditation. We have guided meditations. We talk about motivation. And mainly, we talk about crime, true crime, body language, and we talk about human behavior because I love psychology and I am fascinated by the human being and the things that we go through and the types of human beings that we have around. Well, this week, especially, we're going to talk about a very interesting character. His name is Brian Walshe. So we're back in Massachusetts where we were for the Karen Reed trial in the same courthouse, not the same courtroom, and definitely not the same judge. Thank God. Bye-bye, Judge Canoni. So we have a different judge, an amazing judge, two great attorneys, both on the defense and the prosecution side. And we have Brian Walshe. But before we even start going through the evidence and all the Google searches, and don't worry, if you're not familiar with this case, that's okay. That's what we're here for. We're going to do a trial recap. This week, we just had week one. So we're going to go through week one and the main points. And please, if you do have familiarity with the trial, let me know what you think. Do you believe that the Google searches and the evidence that has been provided so far shows us premeditation? Remember, Brian Walshe is on trial for murder one. That means that he had an intent, he planned, and then he murdered his wife. That's what he's on the trial for. Those are the allegations. He's innocent until proven otherwise, right? So, based on what we saw this week, if you have watched the case or some snips of it, please tell me, what do you think? Do you think his Google searches and the evidence of what he bought show premeditation or no? That he was just like acting after the effect? Because that's what the defense is saying. He found his wife dead in the morning after New Year's Eve of 2022. He woke up, she never woke up. He freaked out. So she died, and then he pled guilty to disposing of her body. So he didn't call 911. He didn't call the ambulance. He didn't try to give her CPR. He was like, let me just get rid of her body. So we're here to see if Brian Walshe killed his wife. The defense says he didn't. The prosecution says he most certainly did. So let's get started. Good afternoon. Tell me where you're watching from. What are you drinking this afternoon? And it's great to see you all, my friends. Thank you, Karina, for being here always, for helping me to promote these videos. I love you guys so much. Hello, y'all. Hello, Lucinda. Good afternoon. Good to see you here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this live. Even if you're not watching, do you wear headbands? I don't know. Sometimes for the gym. Anyways, even if you're watching this and you have no idea what the trial is, I think we're going to pretty much have a great idea. Oh my gosh, let me take this off of here. Let me just say, who is Brian Walshe? We're going to start having a little bit of an idea about him. So let me put this slide that I obviously created for you guys because I want you guys to have pictures and images and have a better experiencing when going through a trial. Because honestly, I watched the trial this week and some parts of it were pretty boring, but I was able to hopefully make it entertaining enough so you guys can follow through the storyline with me as we usually do here. So this guy right there, that's Brian Walshe, and this is Anna Walshe, who unfortunately is deceased. That is his former wife. So Brian Walshe is on trial right now. He's on the trial for the alleged murder of Anna, who disappeared after the New Year's Eve of 2022. Her body was never found. And authorities contend that Walshe dismembered Anna and disposed of her remains in trash and dumpsters around the area. How sick is that? How horrible, how gross, how evil is that, right? What type of person has the type of thought to do something so awful, awful, awful to somebody he was married to, that he supposedly one day said, I love you. Now, let's talk about what he has already pled guilty of. And that's what I was telling you guys. He already pled guilty from 2 lesser charges, the misleading the police, because he did an interview of hours and hours and hours with the police. And he told the police she was missing. He couldn't find her. But that was after he had already disposed of her body. So he pled guilty to misleading the police, and the first day of court was actually a long, long period of the audio. And this guy is like a professional gaslighter. We're going to listen to a little bit of that here. And he also pled guilty to improper conveyance of a disposal of a human body, but he denies the murder charge. He said, listen, I did cut her up. I did put her in trash bags. I did dispose of those trash bags, but I'm no murderer. What? That's crazy. I wouldn't murder her, just cut her up and dispose of her body. So that's insane, right, guys? That's insane. I don't know what type of person would do that, but we're going to take a little bit of a look at his psychology here today. Now, these art pieces are from an artist, right? Very famous artist that we are going to, Andy Warhol. I don't know if I said that right. But he already had a case before the murder case. So Brian Walshe was pretty much under house arrest from a federal charge of falsifying art. So he would sell this art and sell the paintings, and he was waiting sentencing for that. He was in home confinement, monitoring and restricted. And his wife would, as a real, I think was she a realtor? No, she was not a realtor. Please tell me if you guys remember her profession, because I know there's a real estate broker, but it's her. Anyways, we'll get through all that. So anyways, so Brian Walshe, he's in home confinement. He's watching the kids. They have kids together, while his wife Anna would travel back and forth to other states for her job. So that's what he was charged with before the death occurred. Okay, so this is the federal case, 2021. He pled guilty. He had wire fraud, possession of converted goods, money laundering, was waiting sentencing on home confinement. So let me just stop here. We have CJ from England. Look at this little dog. How cute. CJ, what is your dog's name? Please let us know. Feeling better naturally .nature. I love that handle, by the way. Only a brain dead person would believe a loving husband would butcher his wife's body upon discovering her dead body beside him. Her dead body beside him. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I am like at awe that the defense attorney was able to talk to the jury and just say, that's what happened, with a straight face. He's a con man, prove a liar. K9, mind help too. Hello, good afternoon, and happy Sunday to you. Hi, lovely people. That is next level crazy. Next level crazy. I find it hard someone can go to these lengths and not have done it before. That is a really great point, CJ. And maybe like not even have done something lesser than that, right? What was he doing? Because you don't just go from being a normal person to becoming Dexter to innocent people. He's not even a good Dexter, right? You don't just go from that to that. So let's see here where we go from here, guys. We have week 1, day 1. This is the trial recap. Let's do it. So we're going to do a little bit of the opening statements from ADA Greg Connor, and then we're going to listen to the defense. So this is one of the Google searches that Brian Walshe was going through, and it was all found on his phone, right? He's going to prove to us that he's not a very smart guy. I was going to call him a name, but I'm not. I'm going to refrain judgment to the end. So he Googled December 27th, what's the best state to divorce a man? So this is all, after the police had interviewed him. They got his phone, they got his laptop, they got his iPad, and they found a lot of Google searches and text messages. We're going to go through them. So that is before she died, right? December 27th. So December 31st, 2022, that was the New Year's Eve. They had dinner together with a friend called Jam. So Anna and Brian have dinner. That is the last time anybody saw Anna, right? And supposedly the next morning, per Brian's account, he wakes up, she's dead next to him. Okay. So what does he do? He waits, he starts texting her sister, her work, saying, "Oh, I haven't heard from Anna." He starts texting her, "Hey Anna, where are you? I'm worried about you." That's like January 1st, January 2nd. And then he declares her a missing person to the police. Okay. So his theory in the case is that at first she was a missing person. Then he says, "No, I lied to the police. I found her dead. I disposed of her because I was scared of being found out or somebody thinking I did something to her. So I just threw her in the trash." And then the prosecution is giving us a little bit of their opinion. So I think this is what we're going to watch, a little bit of the prosecution.
In addition to the Cohasset police, the Massachusetts State Police also worked with them on trying to find out. You're going to hear from two troopers in particular. Trooper Nicholas Marie. Kill me.
Do you guys remember that? Quick disclaimer. That is Trooper Guarino, Nicholas Guarino, but that is not this trial. This is from when we had Kara Reed, and he had a little mic moment where he was like, because he was about to read all the text messages. Now, this is his job. Dude, your job is to go through people's phones and then to go to court and testify what the heck they were texting and talking and searching. And that is your job. So I don't know why you're so upset about doing your job. So let's hear that one more time. This is Nicholas Guarino at the Kara Reed trial.
And two troopers in particular.
On this trial.
Trooper Nicholas Marie. Kill me.
Back to this trial.
No. And Trooper Connor Keith. They are digital forensic specialists. They have special training in examining computers, tablets, phones. And in this matter, they had the opportunity to examine a MacBook, iPads, and cell phones that were at the Walshe house. And they will explain that on Christmas Day, when Anna had missed Christmas Eve and was after spending the evening with Mr. Fastow and was driving up from Washington, D.C., the cell phone that Brian Walshe was using looked up Mr. Fastow on the internet.
I love the judge's face also because she is great at keeping a straight face, you know, trying to show no emotions, but sometimes depending on what they're saying, she'll give her a really big gulp in her water, and I'm just like trying to read her face. She will
And that
look
on
at
December
him
27th,
like a defendant, but look at her, she's really
a
nice.
MacBook
Straight
that used the Apple ID for Brian Walshe between 8:30 and 9 o'clock.
Clayton, long time no see.
Researched best strategies to divorce for a man, best state to divorce for a man, Washington, D.C. divorce laws.
That's what he was Googling, right?
On December 29th,
31st.
Brian Walsh's cell phone was researching buildings that Anna Walshe managed petitioners fire and emergencies she had handled for them in the past. Trooper Guarino will also explain to you the internet history of that MacBook that had Brian Walsh's Apple ID beginning on January 1st.
Uh-oh.
At 4:54 a.m., the MacBook searched best way to dispose of a body. And then went to similar websites for more than an hour.
Look at this.
At 6:24 a.m., same day, the same device, searched how long for someone to missing to inherit.
So notice they can't say Brian Walshe searched for this, right? They have to say Brian Walsh's user ID on the mini iPad had this search. Now, what did he say again? Was it how long? Okay, I forgot. But he's going to keep going with the Google searches. They get better or worse depending on your point of view.
How long missing to be dead?
How long missing to
Can
be
you
dead?
throw away body parts?
Can you throw away body parts? So, December 27th, he's Googling, right? What is the best state to get divorced for a man? December 29th or December 31st, he has dinner with his wife and a friend. January 1st, he starts Googling, can you throw away body parts? The judge knows this whole story. He found her that way is hogwash. I mean, I love the judge. She's just like writing down stuff, looking at her computer, but she's listening to the same bombastic information that we are listening to. So I love the fact that she can keep a straight face.
Later on that morning, on January 1st at 9:33 a.m., the MacBook went to search, how long does DNA last? And then an article, is it possible to clean DNA off a knife? 30 minutes later, the MacBook researched disposal of a cell phone. At 10:28 a.m., the MacBook researched, I am the user of my wife's credit card. She is missing.
So the defense's theory, again, is saying that he woke up, she was dead. He was afraid of calling the police because of the federal case and what was going to happen to his kids if he called the police. What were they going to think? That he killed her. So he had to dispose of her body. But his searches are, I'm the user of my wife. She's a missing, the user of her credit card. She's a missing person. Can I use her credit card? Can you find DNA on a knife? Can you dispose, can you throw away body parts? I mean, he's Googling this. Guys, if you have been here for the past few lives we did about hidden true crime, and we talked about privacy, please be aware. If nobody has told you that before, I'm your friend. I got your back. There is no privacy on the internet. There is no such thing as privacy on the internet. Yes, you may have incognito. You may be able to search a few things and delete your history. But if you're ever on trial for murder, they will find out everything that you have ever typed, okay? Especially now with artificial intelligence. There is no more criming like people used to crime on the 60s and the 50s and the 70s and the 80s. We are being monitored. We have cameras everywhere, cell phones everywhere. Please, don't crime.
And again, on January 1st, at 11:28 a.m., it searched, best way to dispose of body parts after a murder.
A murder. So he's not saying best way to dispose of body parts after I found my wife dead, after a murder. So if you didn't murder her, sir, who did?
Trooper Guarino will explain the numerous websites and searches done by the MacBook in the morning and early afternoon on January 1st, and that these websites were about cleaning blood with ammonia, bleach, and hydrogen peroxide. Websites visited included those as whether it is better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them. One site was entitled, you want to get away with murder? Use a special detergent.
Oh my gosh. Look at her.
This type of
look at the judge in the back. She was like, this is what she did. She was looking at the prosecution and he said, you want to get away with murder? Use a special detergent. She went like, blink and looked out.
The MacBook continued into January 2nd. When it looked up, how long does Lowe's keep security footage? How to saw a body.
How to
dismember a body.
Look at his face,
Can
guys.
you be charged?
Let's look at his face. Now, let's look at people's faces because we love body language here, right? So we got the security guy right next to Brian Walsh's left side. Watch his lips, right? He's doing a little bit of lip pursing, disagreement. But he also shows like disgust and anger, with his expression. But these are people, they're not trying to make expressions, guys. Remember what we have with our micro expressions on our faces. A lot of times these expressions are subconscious. We have no idea we're doing them. That's why we have to be aware, understand what they are, and also be able to read them in other people. So he's already like very unhappy about Brian Walsh's presence. Now, Brian Walshe is keeping a straight face, right? He's like, I have no reaction. I'm here. I didn't do this. I'm just watching this case. So let's see if he's going to...
With murder, without one.
Oh, blink rate's going to start to increase. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen so you guys can pick it up as it happens, right? He's just listening to the prosecution, read his own Google searches, right? So he's going to pretend he's just straight-faced watching because that's what he's supposed to do. Now, his blink rate's going to increase. That stress. He's going to do a big, deep swallow, like shit hit the fan, And then I believe he's going to do an eyebrow raise as well, and then blink really fast. So let's see if that happens.
Can you identify a body with broken teeth? The MacBook also visited websites for apartment complexes in Brockton and Chelsea. One in particular, Chatham West in Brooklyn. Brian Walshe told investigators that his phone, which was an iPhone 13 mini, had been misplaced and not found until the afternoon of January 2nd, 2023. When investigators examined that phone, they learned that it had been connected to a power source. It had been unlocked 4 times by either using the face or the passcode. Investigators will also tell you that the location data from that phone showed that it remained in the Walshe residence until the afternoon of January 2nd, 2023.
The defense opening, I actually want to open, I don't know if I want to play this part or if I want to go back to the video. Let's listen to the beginning of the defense opening. So hold on, give me 1 second. I just have to find the right tab here because I think, I don't know. I thought it was very convoluted in my opinion. It was like all over the place. I heard a lot of people really like it. I think this is the one. I heard a lot of people say he did a great job, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of like you're gaslighting me all over the place, just telling me a lot of things, but not really anything that is consistent. Like, just what can he do? He has really bad facts, right? The defense has terrible facts. So let's take a look. This is going to be sped up at 1.25.
Just want you to take a break and stand up, shake a leg.
Let me see if this is the defense's opening statement. It's not. Oh, here you go. Yeah, we're going right now. I just don't want to miss it.
And when you're comfortable and regain your focus, you may be seated.
Oh, good to see you, Miss Holmes. 6-6. Happy Sunday, sweetie. I hope everything is well.
Brian Walshe. Lied to the police. Lied to him on January 4th. Lied to him on January 5th. Lied to him on January 7th. Brian Walshe went to Lowe's and bought tools. Brian Walshe went to Home Depot and bought tools. Brian Walshe, beginning about 4:54 a.m., began a frantic and tragic search that you will hear about.
Poor guy.
You'll hear the evidence.
The defense guy, not Brian.
You will hear evidence that those searches evolved from how best to dispose of the body to even darker subject matter. As he wrestled with the fact that Anna Walshe was dead.
You wrestled with that fact. Okay.
That evidence that you will hear will be hard to understand, but it is true. On January 1st of 2023, Jim Mutlow left the family home of Brian and Anna Walshe sometime between 1 and 1:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Anna and Brian Walshe continued to celebrate the New Year.
Okay, I'm gonna pause where he just
They went upstairs to the bedroom.
Hold on.
About an hour later, you'll hear evidence that Mr. Walshe got up, went back downstairs to clean the kitchen.
Okay.
You'll see evidence that he looked at his email.
Okay.
You'll hear evidence that he then returned to the bedroom,
Okay, hold on.
intending nothing more than to crawl into bed with Anna Walshe.
Let me pause. Okay. So defense strategy, right? He starts by saying, hey, my client lied to the police on January 1st, on January 2nd, on January 3rd. My client Googled how to dispose of a body. And my client went to Lowe's and bought some tools. I mean, how do you open like that, right? And then you go, and that's why I feel gaslighted or gaslit, however you say that, because then he says, well, but Brian Walshe and Anna had a great dinner with their friend Jen. And then Brian Walshe checked his email, went upstairs. And I'm like, sir, can we go back to the part where your client is trying to dispose of his wife's body and going to get tools at Lowe's? Can we just stay on that, or maybe don't talk about that because you're trying to be defense? So I don't know how you guys feel about the defense opening. I just felt a little bit all over the place. I'm not trying to judge him because it's a really hard case. The facts are totally against his client. But, you know, if you're going to go in one direction, go in one direction. Okay, let's see a little bit more of him, to be fair.
The woman he loved.
Well, apparently not that much because he
When
cut
he
her
entered the
out.
bedroom and began to get into the bed, he sensed something was wrong. You will hear evidence that it made no sense to him. But he nudged Anna, his wife.
Well, the only evidence that could come in is Brian Walshe testifying because nobody else was in the room. And if he testifies, we're going to do a full-on body language video on him testifying. We're going to watch every move, every expression, every breath, every blink. Okay, I'm going to promise you that right now.
She didn't respond. He nudged her again, a little harder. She didn't respond. He nudged her now in a frantic and panicked reaction to where she actually rolled off the bed.
Who's going to tell you that?
Now he is panicking and he doesn't understand what has happened and what is happening.
She's not responding. Call 911.
It didn't make any sense to him. It didn't make sense that somebody that he had just been with and enjoyed New Year's Eve into New Year's Day would suddenly be dead.
Okay.
Not easy. You will hear evidence in this case of sudden, unexplained death.
Sure.
You will hear
that.
evidence that it is real.
Yes.
You will hear evidence that it happens in young people and old people. You will
Sure.
hear evidence it happens in male and female. You will hear evidence it happens during the day and during the night, that it happens.
Sure. But you know what doesn't happen? People don't cut their bodies up after they found a family member dead and they don't throw them in the garbage. That doesn't happen.
You're trained experts.
Okay, let me
You will hear
fast forward
evidence
this
that
guy a
it is
little
both
bit. Let's
mechanical
see.
and are
Okay, so community makes sense to him. Okay, then we'll have, okay, all kinds of reasons why people can die. You'll hear evidence that he had a pending federal case, that it added the stress. Fine. He also is going to say that Anna was having an affair, and that does not make her a bad person, does not make her a bad mother. Okay, because the prosecution is obviously going to insinuate that her having an affair is motive for her husband to want to kill her. He's also going to talk about how they were not financially having a financial hardship, that even though there was a life insurance policy on her and that he would need money for the federal case, that they have a lot of investment properties, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so he's going to talk about how beautiful she was. I want people to see me. And how she thought very highly of Brian because she had somewhere written, I want people to see the Brian that I know. And this is what I'm saying. It's a little convoluted because, bro, don't forget you opened with he went to Lowe's to buy some tools and he Googled how to get rid of a body. Let's just not like erase that. Let's go back to that. And I don't think he goes back to that. So then, he went upstairs. Okay, so that was pretty much the defense's opening. Please tell me what you guys think. Let me go back to my slide here. I think we had a little bit of this, but I'm just going to fast forward. I actually want to stop right at the end of the defense's opening statement. Tell me what you think. Was this a good strategy? Is this the only strategy that he had? You know, like what do we think about the defense? Hold on. Oh, I thought that was here. Okay, it's not here, but there is one point where the attorney is going to stop talking that I have in the clip, that we have another, like, I think she's a defense. Oh no, she's a journalist. She's next to Brian Walshe, and she's going to give us all kinds of faces. Okay, all kinds of faces. So here we got some comments. Let's take a look at what you guys are saying. Hi, Lisa Lee. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Always great to have you here. Beautiful Lisa. Okay, so we have somebody saying cheaters are the worst. We got K9. K9, I do have to touch base with you. I just have been really busy because we want to do a live with you about the dog body language. He's just a normal mom husband, LOL. Yeah, remember Jennifer McCabe? I'm just a normal mom or whatever. Like, I'm just a normal mom. And also Lauren Matthias, right? I'm just a mom. I'm just a mom. I'm like a limited public figure. I'm not even like that famous. I only have like 500,000 followers. But anyways, Yes, Jake, she was having an affair with a real estate broker who actually sold her a property. Guys, I'm a real estate broker, and I'll tell you what, this is something like, oh, terrible. Every time I would never think, and I'm very mindful, like every time I have a couple, like a husband and wife that I am working with, I try to dress like very, like cover everything and not be like, just be very respectful, because you would never want to do that. But that doesn't matter here, because there's nothing that Anna could have done to deserve what she got, right? And this is just a principle that people have different beliefs on. It's not great that there was an affair involved, but this doesn't make any difference in the case as far as the result, right? It could make a difference as far as, hold on. Sorry, guys, I had to sneeze 3 times. It could make a little bit of difference, of course, for the prosecution to use it as a motive, right? He had a motive to kill her because she's cheating on him. He's losing his finances. He's already going to go to prison probably for the federal charge. The guy was going insane. But hey, she doesn't deserve that. Look who's here, Glenn Lake. Hi, my friend. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. I'm so glad you're here. Money can't buy love, but it can buy a wife, right, Brian Walshe? Probably many chances. Probably many chances. No Googling in the chat. Please do not go to a website called murder.com, because Brian Walshe did. That's what I'm saying. It's insane here, guys. Miss you, buddy. Corinne is telling Glenn. We all miss Glenn Lake here. Bless you. Thank you, guys. My sister, when she sneezes like 20 times. Have you met people like that? I only sneezed 3 times, but it still is too much. Thank you so much for a blessing from the UK. Okay, so let's go here too. And yes, it will happen. So this is Anna, beautiful lady, right? Beautiful lady. This is when they got married, a picture after many texts and calls. Brian calls her job. So he doesn't even call the cops after he decides he's going to report her missing. He calls her job to say, hey, she's not showing up. Can you guys do something about it? And her job calls the police to declare her a missing person. So here we go. We have Anna and Brian here on this picture, happily married. Who, you would never know, right? So we got day 1. We have the first Detective Harrison Schmidt from the Cohasset Police. He introduces the large audio where they question Brian Walshe, who is right now at this moment reporting his wife missing. Okay, the interview is unbearable. The audio is unbearable. IMO, in my own opinion, guys. So we're gonna hear a little bit of it because, oh, by the way, I have a picture of Everybody Loves Raymond here, because I do believe that his voice on the audio is just like Everybody Loves Raymond. Not trying to, bring any negativity to Everybody Loves Raymond, but let's see. Where's the audio? I think it's tab number 2. Let's try to see if this is the audio. Voice here, in my opinion, Everybody Loves Raymond voice is Brian Walshe telling the police, she's missing. We've been together for 7 years, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna hear a little bit. So, guys, we're gonna start talking a little bit about his personality. Okay, what do we see here psychologically? Okay, what was the question? Does she have an Apple phone or Apple Watch? How many answers did he give the police? And by the way, I paused because he's still talking. He's still giving answers to this day. Okay, how many answers? Oh, you know what? We thought about getting an Apple phone. Yeah, she did want to do that, and then this is what we call gaslighting / word salad. These are typical characteristics of people that have narcissistic personality disorder. We're not diagnosing anybody. Guys, what is my disclaimer always? This channel is for entertainment and educational purposes only. We're not diagnosing anybody. I'm not a psychologist, but we're really just looking into the personality and the behavior of this human. And he's going to have large answers and explanations, talk a lot every time they question him about anything. And the police is here watching. Is this my house? Oh, the police is here at his house, right? I believe January 3rd or 4th, we're going to find out. But they're here saying, hey, Brian, your wife is missing. Tell us about her. Where does she go usually? How long you been together? Does she have a phone? Does she have a watch? Da, 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 da. So they're trying to treat this as a missing person case. But not Brian. Not Brian. Oh, let me share this screen with you because this is what I'm listening to right now. So let's continue here going with this audio.
I was wondering if you had a second device as well.
Still in the first question.
But she normally likes to just have one device. There have been times over our marriage where she's had 2 devices.
Okay. Is it, who's typically in charge of either the finances or the accounts?
Oh, Anna's very good at that.
Another question.
We do it together, but when it comes to being on time paying the bills, she's much better. Yeah, much better at that stuff. So.
Okay. Great.
With me, like more, broader advisory, like let's do this, let's spend money on that.
Sure.
But no, she is a operations expert. That's my
Correct. Logistics, that sort of thing.
Perfect, yeah.
Okay. How about, if you don't mind me asking, like overall, like financially, is everything good and in order, or
Yes.
are there any stressors, or
Look at his eyes. Wide open.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Well, financially, in some ways, better than ever. This job was.
Doesn't he sound like Everybody Loves Raymond?
Oh, wow.
That's why I think she did 315 this year.
Oh, wow.
So that was huge for us.
Sure.
And then, yeah, definitely. So that's why we decided to do the deal. But I've been having legal problems for many years now. It's one of the reasons why I couldn't leave, because I'm dealing with that now. And it was supposed to be done a long time ago, and it wasn't. So we've been really depressed about that. And there is restitution that I get to pay, but we have the money, and we're just waiting to get a final resolution. So the stress was being a part and not being the authors of our own lives. I couldn't move when we had to. And then our mothers had both of their health difficult. So.
Okay, so anyways, he doesn't stop talking. When I tell you guys that this audio is unbearable, I really mean it. It was the whole day on day 1, and I believe some of the day 2 of the trial was also the audio. Why is it unbearable? Because first of all, everything he's saying in this audio, pretty much everything, is a lie. He's lying to the police. He's saying his wife is missing, and then he's just gaslighting them. What is that? Well, when somebody asks you one question, you don't answer them that question in a straightforward manner. You just go on and on and on, and everybody loves corruption. You just go on and on a whole circle. Like, what was the question? Are you guys financially stable? Well, and she made 315, and then this, and then I have legal matters, and the inability of also taking responsibility, right? Saying, listen, I was guilty of this or whatever. He's just like, there's a case, I may have to pay restitution. He just goes in circles, and it's so hard to get real information from this guy. We got Lisa saying, I heard to hide a body, bury it under a big dead animal because it can be unhardened or a pool. Lisa, no murder advice in this channel. Let's not teach people how to crime better. But I think either way, nowadays, there is no way to do these kind of things without being found. We're going to see video footage of him, buying tools, pictures, actually, to Google. So even if he did bury the body under an animal, he would have still found out. Look at you guys going dark on me. Stop that right now. Glenn is saying, I have never understood hiding a body. How else would my enemies get the message? You guys are silly. What time? What? Also, Lisa Lee, the old gold miners in Australia. Oh, look at you guys. You guys are, I'm just going to stop reading your comments for now until you guys get out of the darkness and finding out how to cry better. But anyways, okay, so this is the audio. Okay, I think that's enough because the whole thing is a lot. So we're gonna go back to my slide here to see how we're progressing with this trial this week and blah blah blah. We did day one. Day one was the opening statements and also the audio. So the audio is introduced. He's telling the police he's lying to them, saying that she's missing, giving them stories and stories and stories. And also interesting point that I think most of you guys know is that this trial does have a little bit in common with the Karen Reed trial, not only because in the same courthouse, not the same courtroom, not the same judge. It does have some of the troopers. You know, we do have Michael Proctor listening into one of the interviews. We have Trooper Guarino looking at the evidence on the phone. And we also have the other trooper that I forgot the name, but we are going to listen from him a little bit. Walsh, I believe. No, Walsh is Brian. There's another trooper that also did some of the internet searches. So anyway, so that it has a little bit of they asked for help from the troopers. So unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna hear from Michael Proctor. And honestly, although I think it would be interesting for the channel to have Michael Proctor testify, in a human level, I feel like horrible for him if he is asked to testify. He is on the defense's witness list. And I feel like it's just humiliating if that's his life now, to go to court and be humiliated and just testify after testimony, and everybody just like poop on him, you know? As a human person, I feel bad for him. Even though I don't agree with anything he did. I made plenty of fun of him, and I would make fun of him again here if he testifies. I hope in a way, he doesn't. So anyways, let's see here where we go from here. Okay, so we're going to go through so this is the audio, right? The audio that we were just talking about. He reported Anna, stop it, don't move. He reported Anna missing to the police, and he talked for hours, gaslighting, word salad his way. But what was he really doing after that New Year's Eve of 12/31? What was he up to? Well, let's look at his phone, shall we? January 1st, 2023, 4:55 a.m. How long? He did not say Haas. I did put that in. How long before a body starts to smell? Well, sir, so imagine what time he may have killed her if he did kill her, right? Because January 1st, so he had dinner the night before. So around 4:55 a.m., she's probably dead if he killed her, right? So that would make sense. Let's pretend he did kill her or maybe he didn't. Okay, let's pretend both ways. He found her dead. So 4:55, he's planning on leaving her body there because he's asking Google how long until the body starts to smell. Right? Now, after that, how to stop a body from decomposing. Sir, I think that would be considered like a miracle in some religions. We have a lot of Catholic saints that have not decomposed like most bodies do. But I don't think you can actually make a body stop decomposing. I don't think you have that power in you. So not even with Google's help or not even with ChatGPT, you wouldn't be able to do that, sir. But thanks for leaving that trace on the internet for us. We have here his next Google search, how to embalm a body. How to embalm a body. What is embalming? Isn't that when you like kind of what we used to do with the mummies? Let me see. Embalming is the process of preserving a deceased body by replacing blood and fluids with chemical solutions like formaldehyde, showing the composition from the public. This guy is like really, really going dark on us right now. Really going dark on us. Let's see. 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really want to. This is still January 1st. Wait, go back. This is still January 1st at 5:47 a.m. So he's been busy from like 4 a.m., about 4:50 a.m. is when he starts the Google searches on January 1st, where many of us are just like sleeping the New Year's Eve away, right? We're just like, or some of us may still be at a party at 4:55 a.m. I'm not judging anybody, but listen to this: 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. I mean, sir, do you really need to? Do you really need to? I think Google should ask him, like, wait, you don't really need to do that, sir. Please stop right here. Maybe in the future, with all the artificial intelligence help that we've been getting, that's how the searches are going to be. Like, no. You don't really need to. You don't really need to. Lisa's like, he did all this in his own Google account. Yes, and what the attorneys have to say is that the mini iPad with the user ID Brian Walshe searched for this. They can't say Brian Walshe searched for this. So yes, he did this on his own computer. I don't know if he was logged into Google, but he definitely did it on his own Apple. I think it was an iPad. On 6:28 a.m., 6:25 a.m. was, or meaning the same that. So he started 4:58 a.m. and he's just Googling his way. How long for someone to be missing to inherit? So what do we mean by that? Does he mean like for him to get the inheritance? How long for someone to be missing to inherit? I do not understand that one. If you guys understand that question better. So now we have, can you throw away body parts? Can you throw away body parts? This Google search is insane, right? No, you can't. Mr. Walsh, you cannot throw away body parts. They're human. It's a human being. It's a person. Actually, it's the mother of your kids, bastard. You can't throw away body parts. But that's what he was Googling. And then at 9:29. So he's still, I don't know what he's doing, right? Between New Year's Eve and this morning, where he's like, maybe she's there next to him and he's just sitting in bed like, can I throw it away? Can I like dispose of it? Can they find DNA on my knife? What does formaldehyde do? Can you like recycle body parts? That's Glenn Lake saying. K9 is saying, wow, I haven't been up with all this. It's really the inheritance question after that. Jury will be done day one, in my opinion. I agree. I think it's really hard not to, because listen, guys, I don't know who I was talking to, and I was saying I probably wouldn't be a great juror because I don't like the prison system. I think the death penalty sometimes is given to the wrong people. Not everything in court is done properly, and I feel like it's horrible to condemn somebody to that type of life of being in a jail cell, living like an animal, having horrible food, horrible hygiene, and all of that, living like an animal, to people who are accused and they are wrongly imprisoned, right? I hate that. So I would probably be like, well, when in doubt, don't, let's reasonable doubt. You did not prove it to me beyond a reasonable doubt. But with certain people like Sarah Boone, we have video of you. We have video of you, Sarah. And then this guy Googling all this stuff, I think I would have to say guilty. Day one, like you said, because what? Who does that? Who does that? Honestly. Karina, I love you. Glenn, like, you make me laugh. Yeah, we love Glenn. Glenn is so funny, and he's, he helps us to go to dark places sometimes with the questions, which is always funny. Lisa, he could have found a stranger in the hood for a few bucks to surf web on their account, just saying. Lisa. Okay, let's see next here. He could have done a lot, right? Anything he would have done would have been better. Now, same day, 9:30 a.m. I don't know if he's having breakfast and coffee and just like, how long does DNA last? He's really not smart. Can identifications be made on partial remains? So between the New Year's Eve and 10 a.m. the next day, he's already deciding he's going to make her partial, right? So he's already deciding, leaning towards, I don't know if he already did it, but he's already leaning towards dismembering his wife's body. Can identification be made? So this really beautiful graphic I created for you guys for your entertainment is what he went to buy at Lowe's. So this is, let me take myself out of here. January 1st. Somebody's asking, are you in the mob? Not me. So anyways, January 1st. So after he Googled all those important questions, as one would do, because, you know, he needed that information. Now that he acquired, if you can throw away a body, if DNA lasts, and all of the questions that we just went over, he gets up from his little bed or his breakfast or whatever, and he goes to Lowe's. What does he buy at Lowe's? He buys 5-gallon buckets, a hacksaw, towels, a framing hammer, a T-Vac full coverage suit, which is this orange suit. I don't know how to say it, if it's Tyvek or T-Vac. Shoe covers, guards, a mop, trash bags, and other cleaning supplies. Now, look at this shopping list, guys. Who would buy a saw, a hammer, 5 buckets, a suit, like cleaning product? I think we should arrest him right there at the cashier at Lowe's. I don't understand how they don't have an alarm. So then he goes back home, right? He goes to Lowe's, and then he's like, okay, I'm home. I got my tools. Let me ask Google dismemberments and best ways to dispose of a body. Because he hasn't this figured out yet. He's getting Google to help him every step of the way. Lisa says, I had thought it was common sense, but maybe I should just check my surroundings. Kidding. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Okay, so then we have, after that, 11:45 a.m., how to clean blood from wooden floor. So I guess at this point, maybe he already dismembered her, right? Because remember, he started these searches around 4:55 a.m. You know, can you throw away body parts? What can you do? And then the progression is how to dismember a body. He goes, gets the saw and the buckets, and now he's asking about the blood. Can blood be detected on wood floors? Luminol to detect blood. So now he's progressing. It's like his actions are being described in front of us. Now he's going to ask, January 1st, 1:08 p.m. So this is almost afternoon. Well, actually afternoon. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? So now he has the body parts right there with him. All the arms, the legs, everything is there, separated in nice little parts. That's what seems like it. And he's like, Google, I have the body parts here. What happens if I put it in ammonia? And I don't know what Google told him, but it would have been fun if it was ChatGPT, because then we would have a full-on conversation with him. So then 1:21, he already answered, I guess, the ammonia question, and he's going, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or to wash them? And I think that he's done. Because think about it, guys. His defense is, I found my wife dead. I was afraid something was going to happen. Nobody was going to believe me. My kids were going to be taken away. And then I was going to go to prison. They weren't going to believe that she just died suddenly, because nobody just dies suddenly. So I had to get rid of her body. But why are you Googling murder after murder and crime scene clothes? Is it better to wash them or throw it away? Okay, Lisa, I got one for you. I think this one would be better to burn them. What do you guys think about that? We're not guys, do not crime, because you will be found out. There's so many videos and everybody's being tracked, and everything you do is being tracked. So please don't crime. But if you were to throw clothes away or wash them, I would say burn them, because I think that would be common sense. Like Lisa was saying, it was just common sense, right? But it doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop here. On the second day, January 2nd, he doesn't go to Lowe's again, because that would be stupid. This is Brian Walshe. He's not going to be stupid about it. He's just asking Google what to do. But the next day, donate to Goodwill. You guys are really dark today. I'm loving this. You guys are really dark today. I love it. Please don't cry me in the chat. Lucinda, some of the things I buy for property and animal rescue here would get me flagged. It is amazing that these searches aren't challenged. Why is that? Jen is not the person doing the search. Because I believe he surrendered his phone and his iPad. He said, I have nothing to hide. Please, anything, whatever you want to ask me. Here's my electronics. I don't know if he thought he was signed out of the account or one account. Yeah, something like he had multiple devices, right? I believe they were all Apple devices. And he did this in one device, for example. But he was logged out, but they were synchronizing with other devices. So the devices that he thought were clean, I think he gave it to the police, and he just voluntarily gave it to the police, thinking, I'm good, nothing's gonna come up. But they were synchronizing. So then when the police got it, they were like, oh, bro, what? And that's why they can't be questioned by the defense, because it was voluntarily. So he can't deny, and the cashier didn't flag that. Lucinda is asking, right? That is a great question that I am curious about. I'm curious about, because that some of the things, I mean, if you have a good explanation, great, but come on. Brian Walshe was obviously never caught before anything untested entitlements. Yes. And also, like somebody suggested today, he probably has done something in the past, because you don't just go from being a regular citizen, just committing a fraud, art deal here and there, to becoming this guy, So anyways, this is on the second day of January, and he went to Home Depot now, not Lowe's, because he's not stupid. And then he bought, how do I make, okay, I'm going to put myself right there. He bought 5 more 5-gallon buckets. So more 5-gallon buckets. He bought a hatchet now, plastic sheeting, tarps, baking soda, 24 pounds of baking soda, and another suit. Self-snitching Bruce would not be happy. Stop self-snitching. I know, right? Stop the self-snitching, guys. Please don't tell Google your murder plans. So this is what he bought on the second day. And they have evidence of him, like video footage, picture of him there. So then he goes back home. I think is after he got his tools. Yep, he's back from Home Depot. He got his hatchet. He got his buckets. He got his tarp. And he's like, hacksaw, best tool to dismember. So I guess at this point, he hasn't really dismembered the body yet. He's probably like, okay, I got all the tools here, Google. What do I do now? Then on January 2nd, still as he's thinking about dismembering, or maybe he's dismembering her, he asks Google, can you be charged with murder without a body? And the answer is yes, Brian, you can, because guess what? You're on trial right now, and they never found her body. And that is something that I am curious about, because if he already admitted to dismembering and getting rid of her body, how come the police didn't obligate him to tell them where he put her body parts? Because, it's just so no dignity, no empathy, no complete disregard for a human person is what this guy is demonstrating to us. So now we have here, same day, January 2nd afternoon. He says, can you identify a body with broken teeth? So he has no limits, right? This guy's like, I'll do anything. I'll get the hammer. I'll break her teeth. Just like, how? And this is him right here. You see all the buckets in the carts? You see the buckets? I mean, fine, if he was just buying these buckets, but he's buying all these other things, right? Tarp, a suit, like to not get blood. Like he's going full on Dexter shopping list. And somebody did say Dexter's the best show. And I agree, it's fantastic, because you really go into the mind of a psychopath, right? So let's see what else is going through. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go a little bit with his psychology, right? We can't say the diagnosis fits any one individual, but psychologically, for someone to carry out step-by-step action to dismember and discard a spouse requires a level of emotional detachment and problem-solving thinking that treats a person not as a human being, but as an obstacle. So this is how Brian Walshe was viewing his wife. She's an obstacle. I need to get that money. I need to do that. I need to get my kids. I need to do this. I need to get rid of this case. And I will go through anything. I'll break her teeth. I'll cut her up. I'll do anything. So complete disregard. She's just an obstacle. She's no longer a human in his mindset. Now, usually that mindset exists long before the act. And that's what you guys are saying here, right? Because he usually didn't just come up with that out of the blue. This doesn't get born from nowhere. Okay, so here we get the extreme empathy detachment, emotional disconnection, instrumental problem solving mindset, logistical task is not an emotional event to him. Now, very interesting, number 3, grandiosity and entitlement. He believes that rules don't apply to him, prioritizing self-protection over consequences. Fear-based control, avoidance, panic, actions driven by panic or exposure, loss of power or public image. And then pre-crime objectification, viewing a partner as an obstacle, emotional dehumanization long before the act. These patterns describe behavioral framework, not diagnosis. Yes. So it's very interesting because, yeah, he sees her as an obstacle. She's just a thing. She's no longer Anna. She's no longer his wife. She's no longer a human being. She's just a thing. Like, how can I get rid of her? What do I do with the teeth? It's just a task for him because he believes he's more important than anything else right there. And he needs to self-protect the ego. So this is very narcissistic, which is very, for example, they say that every psychopath, every person with anti-personality disorder is a narcissist. They all have narcissism, but not every narcissist is a psychopath. Does that make sense? Because, we all have a little narcissist in us, but you can just be a narcissist. Now, if you're a psychopath, you're definitely a narcissist. Now, here's another search. Next day, January 3rd. So we saw January 1st, he searched, he went to Lowe's, he got his little shopping list. On the 2nd, he went to Home Depot, he got his extra tools. He was asking about the teeth and all this stuff. January 3rd, he's like, what happens to hair on a dead body? So he's still curious about, this process. Glenn says, I like your polka dot blouse, Bianca. Thank you, Glenn. A rare pattern to see here in Vermont. Camis, Carhartt, and color purple dominate the fashion here. K9, nobody but a full to-do list on the phone he gave to them. Surely throw the phone away. Yeah, run it over something. His guy's a piece of beeps. Even if you threw it away, guys, this was on his, I believe, Apple history. It was synchronizing his Safari searches or something like that. So here is another Google search. Let's see. Oh, man, why am I here? Okay, this is when? January 3rd. So January 3rd afternoon, what is the rate of decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to on a surface in the woods? So should I put a body in a plastic bag or should I put in the surface, in the woods? Like, should I put it on the woods? Is she going to decompose faster in a bag? How sick. How sick. Sheila, good to see you. No longer the mother of his children. Right. And I wonder how he feels about his children, if he feels anything. Or was he always a psychopath? Is he a psychopath? I mean, who does that? I don't know. If you're not a narcissist, then you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. Lucinda says he was like, Proctor cleared the phone, but didn't clear the cloud. Right. And even if you clear the cloud, guys, I don't know. I don't trust. I would not crime and I would not ask, internet, any of this. This is crazy. So anyways, let's see what else. Can baking soda make a body smell good? What do you guys think of this one? Can baking soda make a body smell good? Well, sir, Brian, I think that people use things like soap, perfume, like deodorant to make their body smell good. Like I go out, I want to be clean. I want to smell good. I put a little bit of spray here, a little bit of lotion, maybe a little bit of oil. But wait, are you talking about a dead body, sir? Because, You're just saying, can baking soda make a body smell good? What are you talking about, sir? I don't think you can. Anyways, that's him searching, you know. It works for the fridge, Lisa. Lisa is like on fire today, guys. I'm glad Lisa's here. It definitely works with the fridge. You know, I also like to clean the house and put a little bit of drop of like orange essential oil or like lime essential oil in bathrooms, kitchens, just like gives you a little bit of sprucing up. Karina says baking soda can help in my cakes. Thank God we're using baking soda for these things, guys, because as far as Brian Walshe goes, he wants to know if he can make the body smell good. Now, let's see what else he's searching here. This is on same day, January 3rd. And this is when he's telling the police she's missing, right? How to dispose of a body. Or actually, I don't think the interview with the police happened yet because I think he's still working on the body here. How to dispose of a body, how to get blood out of hardwood floors. So he decided to do on the hardwood floors, okay. How to dispose of a body in the trash. I mean, what are you thinking? You're asking Google, like, you're asking Google how to dispose of a body in the trash. So here's a little timeline for us. I love timelines because it gives us like a better perspective of everything. The first 7 days, the investigative timeline, early actions after Anna Walshe was reported missing. We have, okay, so remember what he was doing, right? January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, we were just going through that. He was going to Lowe's, Home Depot, blah, blah, blah. Now, January 4th, I guess that's when he got rid of the body. Anna was reported missing. And then they came to do a welfare check. And I believe that's when the interview occurred, the audio. That was day 1 and day 2. Next day, they had a public missing person alert. January 6th, the search teams and K9 dogs were deployed. 7, surveillance review, alibi questioned. On the 7th, the home was searched. Concerns were noted. On the 7th, the 8th, the trash facilities were searched. January 8th and 9th, digital devices seized. And that's when the police found his search history. That's when the police found his search history. Lisa say, I think that research shouldn't have been after the fact. And Glenn say, only a good diet and exercise make a body smell good. Also, certain days, in the cycle of a woman, it can make a. Anyways, I'm gonna go to the next slide. Anyways, let's. Oh, this is Triple Gorino. So we're gonna watch a little Triple Gorino. Remember, guys, the Kill Me version is from Karen Reeves. It's just here to entertain us, but then I think we're gonna go to this trial. So let's see. Kill me. This is the real trial.
Equals best plus way plus to dispose of a body, showing the client Safari, and then it has a whole list of letters and numbers and everything else after.
Now, just a quick note here for the attorneys, right? Ask Bob's not here today, but he was always telling me that I should work for the defense team on the Karen Reed trial. If you are an attorney looking for an assistant that will make a wonderful PowerPoint presentation for you, please call me, because this is how they presented the searches. That you had Triple Gorino there, and he didn't have any demonstrations. He didn't open his folder. He was confused all the time, and he was just reading what the prosecution was showing him. But the Google searches could have been so much more entertaining. So let's see how they did it in court.
And what does that mean?
Well, it shows that it was done, the search was done through Google, and the query words where it says Q equals best way to dispose of a body, that means that the user input those specific terms and hit enter to create the search to happen.
Okay. So beginning at page 527, if we look at record 1956. See that?
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
Lisa.
And then if we go to page
We're more
533,
entertaining than this guy,
record
right? All of us
one,
together? I think so.
to page 533,
You see how boring that is? Go to page,
Record.
just give us the Google searches.
1980.
Look at that.
Let me just check it.
Idle time, idle time, idle time, idle time, idle time.
1981.
We're not gonna stay here for long. Don't worry, guys.
Can you explain what the pages are in the title? Can you tell me the title?
Yes. So the title for this one is 10 Ways to Dispose of a Dead Body, in parentheses, if you really need to. It says dash page 6. So that page 6
Only
means
if you
they're on the
really
6th
need to.
page of the website. So the website will break it down so you're not scrolling a million pages long. So you're usually at the end of the page, you'll see next page, you'll click that and goes to the next part of the website for the story or however it goes. So that page 6 indicates that they're on the 6th page of the website. And they do this for advertising reasons and, like I said, keeping things short and concise.
So earlier in the records, if we had started at page 527, 1956, that was page 527, 1956.
So pretty much he's just saying that the guy went to an article called 10 Ways to Dispose of a Body If You Really Need to. And he went page 1, he read that. He went page 2, he read that. Page 3, he read that. Page 4, he read that. And he went all the way to page 6. K9 Mind Help, they definitely could use your skills. B, pre-trial to evaluate and make aware the things to look at, focus during cross, etc. Yeah, I agree. Guys, hire me. Okay, I charge a very hefty fee. I'm kidding. I don't know. But I would love to do that because I love trials. I am a real estate broker, so I do have a job. I do have clients that I love as well. But this is something I do for fun. Like I love like details, and I will listen, I'll catch things that maybe even the Kara Reed trial, like during the trial, I was catching things, and Ask Bob was like, oh my God, we should call the attorneys. I'm like, stop it. But anyway, so this is how they presented the Google searches, which I think were
Yes, that's
kind of boring. I mean, it's pretty powerful.
Doesn't have a page number, but it
evidence.
looks like it's the opening page to the website for whataculture.com, offbeat 10 Ways to Dispose of a Body.
And then if we went to 528, 1962, what would the title be?
10 Ways to Dispose of a Body, if you really need to, dash page 2, the second page of the article.
Okay. So what does that indicate?
Yeah, we got that.
That the
Lorena.
user clicked to go
Went
to
to
that
page
next
2.
page, showing that also that the visit count is 4. So it's the user's been there before.
Thank you. Looking at page 534, record 1986.
They
What is
could
the
have done a
title?
presentation for this.
How long before a body starts to smell? Google search.
What time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 4:55:25 a.m.
And what does Google search indicate there to you?
Again, that the user input how long before a body starts to smell. and
Not
did the
many
actual web
articles on
search.
that subject. Don't Google that,
Looking at page
guys.
547,
Don't Google
record 2029. What is the
that. All
title?
right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and
How long
change
for someone to be
the
missing
next-
to inheritance? Yahoo search results.
Okay, so all of
What
those
time and
searches we
date?
went through it. I
It was
just
on
wanted to
January
show you
1st,
guys how it
2023
was
at
presented in
6:24:44
court,
a.m.
if you
And
haven't seen it.
what does Yahoo search results indicate?
This was done on a Yahoo search engine.
So you previously explained Google search. Can you explain Yahoo search?
It's the same thing. It's just a different search engine that the user can utilize to search whatever they're looking for.
Looking at page 543, record 2014. Can you tell me what that title is?
It's the same whataculture.com article, 10 Ways to Dispose of a Dead Body, if you really need to, page 7.
Okay, so let me see here. Where does this presentation go? I'm just gonna fast forward Guarino because we did go through all the Google searches here. I just wanted to show you guys how he came off at court. Let me see if this ends here. Okay. Oh yeah, so this is the end of what I wanted to show you guys. After all those Google searches, right? Let's just go through this real quick. After, oh no, Karina, you have to go. Okay, it's okay. I'm not gonna stay here for a long time. I'm gonna have to bail. My granddaughter's in the A&E with an ear infection. Her mommy needs my help. Love you loads. I'll catch up with you soon. Love you, Karina. We all love you. Have a great day, and I hope she feels better. So what I wanted to show you guys here is the journalist that is sitting right next to Brian Walshe, and I want to show you guys the disdain. What happened? Oh my gosh. My doggy, my new doggy was right here behind me. I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. I think I moved the chair and it hurt her because she yelped. But I told her she's a new doggy. I adopted her like a month ago, my little baby. She's like 10 years old. They told me she was 5. It's okay. I'm sorry, baby. She stays really close to me all the time. And sometimes she stays like under my feet and I almost fall. And I think even though there's a bed for her right next to my chair here, I think she was like under my chair. So I moved it a little bit and she yelped, guys. I'm sorry, Molly. I'm sorry, Pikilika. She's a good girl. I'm so sorry. You okay? I think she's okay. I'm sorry, okay? I know. I'm so sorry. Oh, anyways, going back to the video, guys. So as Trooper Guarino is reading those Google searches, the journalist sitting next to Brian Walshe is showing extreme disdain in her face. And just like her mouth, her expression, she's like so disgusted with Brian Walshe. And I wanted to show you guys this because it was another body language
Sorry, Ms. Gilman, I know I'm asking a
moment
lot.
that I thought it was very interesting here. So let me just go to that.
There we go.
Thank you.
January 1st.
Okay, this is her right there with the yellow iPad. Let's just watch her face. And look at him smiling away, smiling away. Things are not going well for you, sir. She's doing lip compression there. Look at her, lip turned down. She cannot look at him, but she will. Look, biting her mouth inside, just extreme discomfort. And real quick, crossing her arms, right, protecting herself. She glances at him for 1 second, just like very uncomfortable to be there next to this individual. Very interesting. I think she's gonna glance at him one more time. Oh no. Anyway, so this is the website that somebody visited called wait, go back, Dexter. We don't want you to go so fast. The website is called murder.com. Please do not visit. There is nothing for us there. But he did visit a website called murder.com. Anyways, it's incredible. So day 3, let's see what we had on day 3. Let me see who testified. Okay, so then we had, oh my gosh, we also had this going on. Not only, it gets worse, guys. You thought the Google searches were bad and all of that, but it gets worse. So now we moved beyond search history and circumstantial digital evidence. I mean, if you call that circumstantial, I don't know what direct evidence is, but okay. It introduced physical evidence, tools, stains, discarded items, giving the case a more tangible forensic dimension. The introductions of stained items, dumpster evidence, lack of credible victim departure makes the theory that he has of sudden unexplained death far less plausible, and it strengthens the prosecution's narrative of intentional homicide and cover up. For viewers and for analysis, so listen, guys, one thing I will tell you is just a disclaimer. This is gonna be a little graphic, right? I think they're gonna show us a little bit of graphic stuff. So warning, not like you're not gonna see a body. I'm just saying you're gonna see some tools and some blood stains. So this is the pile of trash where they had the search done. Okay, based on the phone locations where he went. So they went to those trash facilities and they found that those items in different bags. Okay, so in one bag, for example, look at how beautiful they have the evidence laid out, organized, unlike Karen Reed's trial. We have the trash bag, we have a jacket that she was wearing. These are all her items. Boots, we have her lipstick, we have other items here. And then they also found, oh, wait. Okay, let me see real quick. I think we have more of the evidence before we go to him. He is the guy that Anna Walshe was seeing. But before we go to him, let me just see if we have any more of this, which is where where they showed some of the tools as well. Okay, let me see here. Evidence. I have the video right here. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. It's because sometimes I have to share tab to tab. And I want to make sure I have the right tabs for you. Evidence, evidence, evidence. It was towards the end. Okay, I can't find it right now, so I will get back to it. Let me see here with this video. We're going to talk a little bit about her also. She was having an affair with the guy who sold them a property, the real estate broker who sold them a property. And he testified in court. His name is William Faston. Let me see. So here's about his testimony, okay? The motive and context. William Faston's testimony introduces a second adult in Anna's life, which the prosecution may use to argue motive, jealousy, betrayal, financial gain. And then we have the physical and forensic evidence. We had dumpster items, the tools. We had the traced phone movements, the surveillance, a stronger bridge from suspicion to action. We had contradicting innocent death theory. The combination of evidence undermines the defense's narrative of a sudden natural death followed by panic. The presence of dismemberment tools plus disposal plus the trash facility patterns points toward a planned methodical cover up. Jury impact on day 4, they ended on day 5. So day 4, it adds emotional forensic weight, right? You have personal items. You're seeing her personal items. You're seeing her jacket. You're seeing her boots. Possibility of remains. There's blood stains. Relationships exposed. Increases the pressure on jurors considering guilt seriously. So let me just see here if I can find the key moments of that. Okay, let me share with you. The key moments of the trial. We're going to do a little bit of it here. You have it, you have it, you have it. There you go. There you go. Okay, great.
Gray device. We can all agree it contains 3,677 records, as you defined
This is a little bit of Trooper Guarino's cross-examination here. The defense is asking him about the records he analyzed.
them yesterday.
Yes, well, half technically because they're duplicates.
Going to refer you to stay on that same page 555, record 2057.
Okay.
It occurred at 6:36:22,
Yes.
and it regards body disposal options.
Yes,
No reference to murder, the word murder, correct?
that's correct.
Turning to the
Google
next
murder
page, 556, record 2059. The search query involves cool ways to be buried.
What?
That's correct.
There's no
Cool
reference to murder,
ways?
correct?
That's correct.
Page 557, record number 2061, and it's a query of above ground burial options, correct?
That's correct.
And there's no reference to murder.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
The search history
Only burial?
on all of these devices that were turned over, it was all intact, wasn't it?
Yes, the devices that were either turned over or seized during the warrant were.
And in your forensic analysis of all these devices, you did not see any evidence that anyone tried to remove, delete, or otherwise change the search history contained on these devices.
That's correct.
So then we have the DNA analyst Davis Gold. This is day 3. We're just watching some key moments here.
Sir, do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is this a photograph of?
This is a photograph of the Volvo I examined on January 9th.
With the Volvo that afternoon, what were you able to do as far as any testing?
The testing I performed on the Volvo was the blood screening test we use at the laboratory. Of all the areas I examined, there were 5 that tested positive for blood screening. One was the front driver's side seat controls for the front seat. There was an area on the second row passenger floor mat that tested positive. The third row passenger seat was folded down, and the back side of that screened positive for the presence of blood. And 2 additional areas on the mat that was in the trunk that was covering the trunk storage space. There was 2 mats, 1 area on each of them, test screened positive for the presence of blood. And these were areas that I did not observe any visible staining.
Can you tell us what was discovered inside of bag 1?
Inside of bag 1 was a pair of green boots, a black jacket with red-brown stains, and a bracelet inside of the pocket. There was a black purse with red-brown stains, a black wallet, and a pair of headphones inside of a case, as well as a pair of socks.
What was discovered inside of bag 2?
Inside of bag 2 were 2 white towels with red-brown stains, as well as a piece of tape with apparent gauze and red-brown stains inside of it.
What was discovered inside of bag 4?
Inside of bag 4 was a pair of gray slippers with red-brown stains, a pair of dark gray slippers with red-brown stains and trace materials, as well as apparent hairs with red-brown stains.
Wow.
Sir, what is it that we're looking at here?
This is a photograph of the contents of bag number 8.
And what was produced from bag number 8?
Bag number 8 contained a hammer, a pair of wire snips, a hatchet, and a hacksaw with red-brown stains on it.
That is so eerie. Oh my gosh. And that is where the jury, if they haven't done so yet, right, really gets an image of this guy's mind and what he did. Like you get a gruesome, very real image right there. You can't get any more real than that. You have the instruments, you have her blood, you have her clothing, you have her slippers. It was around New Year's time. So you imagine, a family hanging out on New Year's wearing slippers right after Christmas and stuff. And then this guy going through all that after we heard his Google searches. I mean, there is no defense on this case. I rarely say that. I like to say he's innocent until it's proven guilty. But guys, there is really nothing I can see here. I cannot see. Here we have Carpet Lane Full. Hello, saying as go to and federal court proceeding in my city researching by internet, not wise, not wise. Glenn Lake, I have a chainsaw and hammers in my trunk. Yeah, but do you have like the bodysuits? Do you have like gallons of buckets? Buckets with 5 gallons, whatever. Do you have the tarp? Do you have what else? The scissors? Do you have like bloody towels? Do you have bloody slippers? Hopefully not, because if you do, get out of here, Glenn. But we're just kidding. We love you, and we know that you are a long-time member. But anyway, so this is the day, I forgot, day 3 or some day. But now we're going to watch a little bit of William's testimony. And this is the real estate broker that Anna was having a romantic relationship with. They were making plans. They were making plans, to be together, to what they had like a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plan. What would our lives look like together? And he was also getting out of a marriage. So we're going to see a little bit of this right now. Let's go.
Are you familiar with Anna Walshe and Brian Walshe?
Yes.
And how did you meet the Walshes?
Anna Walshe was referred to me by a mutual friend, Jem Mutlow.
For work.
They were looking for a home in the DC area, and I assisted them in purchasing a townhome in Chevy Chase, DC.
And did you know Anna or Brian Walshe before that?
I did not.
And who bought the home?
Anna Walshe.
And did you meet Anna in person?
Yes.
Had you ever met Brian Walshe in person?
No, I have not.
So after you sold the townhome to Anna Walshe, did you have further contact with her?
I did.
And what was your initial relationship?
We quickly became close friends, then confidants, And before long, we started an intimate relationship.
So how often would you see Anna Walshe in the course of your relationship?
Typically 2 to 3 times a week.
And how often would you and Anna communicate once your relationship became intimate?
Pretty much daily.
And did you and Anna have plans for Christmas Eve?
Yes.
And what did you do for Christmas Eve?
We drove out to Annapolis to have dinner with friends of mine.
Do you know where Anna went on Christmas Day?
She eventually ended up driving back to Massachusetts.
Did you and Anna discuss how Brian Walshe reacted to Anna not being in Cohasset on Christmas Eve and getting there later on Christmas Day?
She told me that they had an argument about it, and there were some points of contention.
Did you and Anna discuss any stressors about that, or any stressors in her marriage to Brian?
Oh my
The biggest stressor was his inability to resolve his criminal case, and the fact that because of that, she couldn't be with her children and bring them back to Washington, D.C., and the fact that it felt like it was holding up her life.
Did you have plans to celebrate New Year's with Anna?
I did.
And when did you make those plans?
When I was in Idaho and she was in Cohasset.
And what were your plans for? When were your plans for?
Our plans were to have dinner on January 4th to celebrate New Year's and discuss our 1, 3, 5, and 10-year plans.
And what had you and Anna discussed about your future together?
We'd had a number of conversations about what a life together might look like, but I had always said to Anna that she needed to figure out how she wanted things to be with Brian,
Right.
and what she wanted to look like for her life before, we could make any sort of commitments or decisions.
Makes sense.
And did you have dinner reservations for January 4th?
I did.
Did you ever go?
Did you have dinner on January 4th?
No, I did not.
I did not.
Not with
Have you
Anna.
seen Anna Walshe since December
Oh, no,
25th
sorry.
of 2022?
I have not.
Aw, and you feel the hurt in his voice, right? Because let's not judge. Like, if maybe it happened, right? Romantic relationships are complicated, and they were both married, and he divorced his wife, and then he has, I believe, a son, and then she was talking about divorcing Brian, and they had kids, I believe 3 kids together. And then they got into a romantic relationship, which is not advisable. Preferably, let's just break up with whoever you're with. But once you're married and you have kids, and it gets a little bit more complicated than that. They fell in love. They were trying to plan. But you could feel his emotion when he said, no, I did not have dinner with her. And I just wonder, when we hear from Brian Walshe, which seems like we are going to hear from him, and I am going to do a full body language video on him if he decides to testify, if we're going to hear any emotion, because from the audio, we didn't hear any. It was just like about himself, explaining. So that was number 4. We're going to finish up on day 5, which was the last day, and the trial continues this week. So let me just share the key moments of number 5, where we had Trooper Connor O'Keefe, who was also part of the Carey trial. He's going to go through some of the text messages that were between Anna and Brian Walshe.
3rd, 2023, 6:39 a.m. I'm worried. Please call or email.
What time was this sent?
January 3rd, 2023, 6:39 a.m. If I don't hear.
So remember, guys, remember what we went through in the beginning of this live. We went through Google searches that Brian Walshe was doing on January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, right? On the 4th was when he called the police to say she was missing. But on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, he was going to Lowe's, he was going to Home Depot, and he was doing the search about dismembering her body. Now, he's texting her on January 3rd, where are you? I am worried. If I don't hear from you this morning, I'm going to report you missing. So what he's doing is creating a trail, right? To supposedly cover up his side. He's saying, look, police, I was texting her. At the same time, he's Googling dismembering her body. Like, everything is recorded, but he apparently does not realize that. Don't self-snitch.
Here for you this morning. I'm going to report you missing.
What is the date and time this was sent?
January 3rd, 2023 at 8:32 a.m. Where are you?
And what is the date and time that was sent?
January 4th, 2023 at 10:14 a.m.
For the messages on
And
January
he knows
2nd through
pretty
January 4th
well.
of 2000.
Look at his stupid face. He knows pretty well where she's at. By this time, January 4th, he has already done the deal. Right? That's what his Google searches reveal. Am I wrong? Like, do you guys have a different opinion? Does anybody see the defense case being real here? He's like profusely, that's not a word. I don't know how to say that. But like sweating
In
here,
23.
closing the eyes and delaying the opening. Remember when we say here, see no evil, when you don't want to face some information, you just close your eyes, you delay opening. You don't want to face that.
Any of the messages to know that
And
they
the
were delivered?
blinking,
It does not appear that.
super rapid.
Now on cross.
What? We can't have you here, sir. So let me see what else. Let's see what else on cross-examination.
In the searches running from
Defense.
the date of December 25th of 2022, up and including the end of December 31st
Oh,
of
sound.
2022, you saw no evidence of searches in the Safari search history regarding any searches for things like tools or searches suggesting how to dispose of a body.
Okay. Okay. No, we didn't see anything before December 31st about dismembering the body. So the defense is pretty much saying there was no premeditation. There was no planning. He found her dead January 1st, and then he started the Google searches. So that's what the defense is trying to do here.
Anything like that, correct?
I did not see any of those December 25th to the 29th.
And I was looking
Oh,
over
no,
at the
no,
jury
no,
during
no,
that
no, no.
testimony. They were taking a lot of notes, Julia.
No reporters.
This pathologist for Anna Walsh's body
Is
disposed.
it just you guys? Let's go back to Connor O'Keefe.
Involved in examining items, just bodies of people. In this case, the objective was to determine whether there was human tissue on these items.
Some of the women seated in the front row.
He's back. No, I just want to hear the key testimony of day 5. Let's see if we have any more of that. Day 5 was not really like big. It was a short day. They ended like half day. So that's it. That's it for the evidence for the trial recap of week 1. So we're going to continue. We're going to pick up the trial. It starts tomorrow again. You can watch it on many channels. I know Mike Crawford is streaming the trial live. Emily D. Baker, Court TV. You guys can watch the trial there. I watched the trial for you, so you don't have to watch hours and hours and hours of like evidence that sometimes is presented in a really boring way. I try to pick up the pieces and come here and give you guys a recap, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe, share, make a comment there after the video has ended. If you're watching it after the rewatch crew, please leave a comment because it helps the algorithm to suggest my channel to other people. And I really enjoy making the content for you guys. I hope you enjoy as well. I want to wish you a wonderful week full of like joy, health. I hope you guys take care of each other. Drink plenty of water, sleep well, exercise, eat well, because this life is short and it's a beautiful life. We have so much to be grateful for. This is just a nice little distraction and entertainment, and interesting to look at the psychology that sometimes a lot of these people that have so much evil inside of them, they go through complete detachment from the human race, right? So thank you for everybody for being here. I'll see you guys next Sunday and have a great week. God bless. Thank you for watching, guys. Bianca MMM, your go-to place for mind meditation and motivation to elevate your life and keep you entertained. I'm passionate about exploring the human mind and psychology, and here we dive into court proceedings, body language analysis, and sprinkle in a bit of humor along the way. You will also find content to boost your personal growth physically and mentally, featuring quick meditation techniques and uplifting messages to kickstart your day. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, take care and stay positive.